This is Harry Judd for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. We're here in Congleton at Peter Fury's gym and I'm joined by the one and only Savannah Marshall. It's nearly go time, September 20th. How do you feel?
3 weeks ago, flying, absolutely flying. I remember the presser, I think the presser was at 12, no, about 10 weeks the presser. It's just flew. Where has the time gone, seriously?
Bit of sparring in there. I overheard Peter earlier on. This is probably the hardest he's ever pushed you. How's camp been for you?
Honest to God, when people ask, when I hear people say, oh, how's camp been? And they're like, oh, brilliant camp. This has just been brutal, absolutely brutal. Honestly, it's the hardest camp of my life. I don't know how I'm still standing, honestly.
Have you been trying anything different in terms of your preparation for this one? Obviously it's going to be one of the biggest fights ever. Have you tried anything different in this one?
It's just been intensified times 100. Honestly, I'm one of them where I write everything down. I'll write everything down and I look back and I think, right, well, 6 weeks out I was doing this, whatever. And I'm just like, things I was struggling on this time, last two camps, I'm absolutely flying. Honestly, it's at the time you think, oh God, I can't run any faster or I can't lift heavier, but I am.
He has said you haven't moaned a single note.
Do you know what it is? I don't, but when I get in the car I'm like, I can't stand that man. Honest to God, that man. And then the next day I come in, I'm like, Peter. He's my favourite person the next day, but honestly, I cry in the car. That's what I do. I don't let him see that he's broke me. I cry in the car.
You've done so well to keep it under wraps. But yeah, he has said how hard you worked for this one. But again, what are you expecting in this fight in particular?
I'm expecting a tough fight. I wouldn't expect anything less from Claressa Shields. That's what I've trained for. Tough, hard, grueling night.
Have you got under her skin? Does that play a factor in this one?
Do you know what? I've been asked this
a
lot.
Yeah.
The thing is with Claressa, I think she's that unhinged and that unpredictable. I've totally bypassed looking into anything she said or does because, like I said, she's a one-off. I'm not going to sit and look into anything she says or does because she's in a Rubik's Cube. I don't think she knows if she's coming or going.
You have been with Peter, I think, with just over 5 years. How much has your relationship grown and do you trust him out of anyone to get you prepared for this fight?
Do you know what? He knows me inside out. He really does. And I know him. I'd like to think I know him. There's times I come in the gym and we don't even speak sometimes and he'll just come over at me and go, what's on your mind? I'll be like, right, well now you've brought it up, this has annoyed me. And he'll just laugh and he's got an answer for everything. So that's probably sometimes where I don't even like pipe up and say I'm aching because he's like, well yeah, you should be, and then that's it.
How much has the relationship developed between you two in all those years?
Peter's the only man in professional boxing I trust, and I think, do you know what? My cousin's living with me at the minute from Australia, and he's trying to break into professional football. So he knows really nothing about my world, and vice versa. So I was on about Peter, and I was like, when you think about it, Peter is the Sir Alex Ferguson of the boxing world. Everyone wants to come and train with Peter, and the fact that I'm here in his camp, and he's my coach, and he's overseeing everything that I do. I'm just, honestly, how I fell into this position, I am blessed and I'm so lucky because the amount of people that come here or ask Peter for advice or want Peter to train them and you know, he turns them down or he hasn't got the time, and honestly I am blessed.
There are even a few members in that gym right now who have just, or trying to start with Peter. It's such a big want to work with him. But take me back to the fight between you and Claressa. What do you make of the back and forth between you two? It's been brewing for so long now.
It has been brewing a long time, especially these past 18 months. Yeah. So it's getting nice and spicy. It's what people like, don't they? People love like bickering and controversy and oh, she said this, or she's doing this. People love it, and it sells tickets, doesn't it?
One of the things you said, I think either the Cardiff or it might be the Newcastle press conference, where you said the only thing I'd do is chuck that necklace in that bin.
No, she turned around and said, Savannah just wants to be me. I was like, God, first thing I'd do if I was you is I'd hide that necklace in the trash. It's the best thing I'd do. And take myself shopping.
Do you think she'd be able to take a loss? Because she's still going on about the fight. You're the only person to beat her. She's still going on about that now. Do you reckon she'd be able to take that if it didn't go away?
Like I said, she's bloody. She's in a Rubik's Cube, that girl. I mean, look at the MMA loss. That's never been mentioned since. I mean, as people forgot that she lost last year. Do you know the quote? Is beatable. She lost last year, but that's just been erased from history, apparently.
It is a historic night for yourself, also an historic night for boxing in itself. Not women's boxing, I don't like the differentiation between the two, boxing in themselves. What a massive, massive card.
It is a massive card, and do you know what, at first I wasn't too keen on it, because I thought, straight away right, if you don't like women's boxing, you're not going to tune into that card, because I wouldn't. If I didn't like women's boxing, I wouldn't watch. And then when I've looked at the actual, I think the co-main event, brilliant. I can't wait for that one. Alicia's got the power, but May's got everything. She's got a bit of power. She can box, and they've got a bit of beef as well. So I'm looking forward to that one. Obviously, you've got like Lauren Price is on the card. I think her debut was she really impressed me.
Yeah.
April's on the card.
Yeah, still stable,
Caris Artenstall. So Georgia O'Connor's on from the North East. So it is. It's a good card, really. Yeah.
About women's or female boxing, you've not been an advocate to change it from 2 minutes to 3 minutes. Just clarify why that is.
I don't need 3 minutes to knock people out. Do you know what though? My last two fights, it's been bang on the bell. They've either been stopped and then the bell's gone, or like when I boxed Femke, she was just going down and the bell went, and I thought, God, that was a bit close. But the reason why I think from a fan perspective, I think 3 minutes are boring, especially when the men are fighting championship rounds. Now it happens for about 6 minutes, and I find myself wandering off to the fridge or just like sat on my phone. Whereas 2 minutes, it's so quick
so
and
exciting,
action-packed. You can't take your eyes off it. So I think that works for women's boxing, especially in the position it's in now, trying to get fans.
What about the amateurs then? Kicking on with this same theme. What do you reckon about head guards with women's boxing? Because in the amateurs, the men in the national ABAs don't have to wear head guards, but the women do.
I don't know. I think I always wore a head guard as an amateur, and I think it is safer because you're not just having one fight every couple of months. You go to a tournament, you have 4, 5, 6 fights within the space of 2 weeks. So it is a lot, and. Like I said, I had over 100 amateur fights.
Yeah.
Other fighters have had 400, 300, so it's a lot of punches to be had.
There's no rematch clause with this fight. That's not something that normally happens. Does that make this fight more exciting?
Yeah, of course. I got one chance, one opportunity. This is it for me. So it's all or nothing.
What would victory mean to you?
My life will change forever. My life will change forever, September the 10th.
And give me a prediction. How does it end? Does it end before the 12th round? How does it end?
Well, it'll end before the 10th.
Sorry,
we don't do 12.
Yes, sorry.
But Savannah Marshall will be undisputed middleweight champion of the world.
Spoke to Peter earlier. He said he'd like you to move up. Is that something that you'd also like to do?
Yeah, the option's there. I couldn't move down. I couldn't do super well even if I tried. So yeah, that's the only way is up.
To get your thoughts on some other fights going on, Natasha Jonas was hopefully meant to be on this bill, but unfortunately, and speaking to Joe Gallagher, he wanted Natasha on this bill, but unfortunately, or fortunately for Natasha, it's a great night anyway. She's headlining in Liverpool against Patricia Bergholt. Just get your thoughts on that one.
She's a good girl, Patricia. She was one of the, so like a lot of the pros were like world class amateurs, and they've like all turned over. So a lot of we are like know each other. So Patricia was a boxed for Sweden. She was a really good girl. She boxed at 64 kilo. I don't know if they've boxed before. They might have, but I do remember Patricia. She was very big for the weight. She's tall, very tall. She boxed Hannah Rankin. She actually dropped Hannah, and Hannah is tough as teak. You know, I couldn't even drop Hannah Rankin. So you can say that Patricia's can whack. But going off Tasha's last performance, you know, it's all there for the taking for her.
You mentioned Hannah Rankin. Terry Harper was in this gym moments before you this afternoon. They're planning on fighting. To get your thoughts on that one.
That's a really, so like I said, Hannah is tough as teak, and Hannah will be there all night. That'll go the distance, that fight, without a doubt. Terry's got the speed, but she's coming up 4 weight classes, and this is the thing. I think that, yeah, Tash done it, but you're coming up, it's like a stone and a half. And I think when you've got someone leaning all over you, even if you're half faster and you're hitting them with everything, it's tiring. So I can see Terry winning early doors, and then Hannah coming back into it. So I think it'll be a quite close points. Could go either way, I think.
I can't have you here without talking about the big fight in Saudi, Usyk AJ2. Yeah, well, how do you think that one will go?
So I've seen that Usyk's put loads of weight on.
Yeah. What do you reckon of that? I spoke to a few trainers who are, well, for and against it, thinking that it will give him a little bit more push in the fight. But what's your thoughts on that one?
I think that what won him in the fight in the first place was his speed and his boxing ability and agility. And now he's put all this weight on, but who knows? I think Joshua's just got to rough him up. Like I said, lean all over him, because he's the bigger man, zap all his energy. And I think Joshua will knock him down.